Hello everybody, I'm going to talk today about replacing the outer lens assembly on a Sony E-mount 55 to 210 lens. The reason that I'm replacing it is that if you look closely at it, you will see that there is fungus growing on the outer lens elements. This fungus is actually not on the outside of the glass, it's on the underside of the glass, but the problem is that there are two pieces of glass that are part of the same assembly. And so this is actually growing between the two of those. Somehow moisture got in there. And so the only way to fix this problem is actually to go in and replace that. Now, I've seen videos on how to do this. They're all very long, much too long and incorrect. And so I decided to make this video while I'm going ahead and replacing this. To get the replacement parts, I went to the Sony website. They recommended that I go to Encompass, ENCOMPASS.com, and get this part, the lens assembly one group. It costs about $85. In addition to that, I got the first light shield ring. You don't need to get this. This is only about $12 or $13. But when I opened the lens up the first time, I damaged that outer ring. So if you're going to replace the lens, you might want to go ahead and get one of these as well, just in case you do that. Okay, so the first step is that we're going to remove this outer light shield ring. You can see that I have the replacement here, and there are 3 holes in it that you can see right there along the edge of it. And behind each one of these holes is a tab that needs to be pushed in with a tool such as a paper clip here to unsnap the ring and remove it. So if I look in here right now, there we go. This lifts out nicely with just one of these because one of the other tabs is broken. The next step is to remove this component here, this outer component. If I extend the lens, you can see it here. It is held in place by 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. Those just need to be unscrewed. Okay, now you can see this outer component here can be removed, revealing 3 screws that look like this. Now these are actually not screws. They look like screws. They are Phillips head, but what they are is actually cams, and you'll see a dot on one edge of these. That dot is facing down towards the camera body. This is actually a cam, and this is where the lobe of the cam is. Right now it's pointing down towards the bottom of the camera, and if you turn it 180 degrees, is now facing up. Now I've loosened all 3 of these cams. The dot is pointing up away from the body of the camera. You'll see that these springs, when I rotated that cam, those springs loosened up a little bit. They're under compression. And when we take this cam out and the other 2, you'll see that these springs will come up even further. Be careful when you do that. You don't want these springs to get away from you and lose them. They may be difficult to find. So right now, the thing to do is to take a small flathead screwdriver and pry out all 3 of these cams. Now here you can see one of these cams. It's hard to appreciate in the video, but it is, there's a lobe on one side of it. And you'll notice that it's not threaded. It's not something that you need to unscrew. When you loosen these, you do it just by turning these 180 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead now and remove the other 2. Okay, now with all 3 of these cams out, you'll notice that the springs are loose. At this point, you'll be able to remove this outer lens assembly. Again, be careful in doing so not to lose the screws. the springs. Now, installing the new assembly is just a reverse process of removing the old one. Be careful when you do this to carefully inspect the inside here to make sure that there's no dust before you put it back in place. Make sure that these springs are lined up and that the holes in the assembly are lined up with the holes in the lens body itself. So that's all there is to it.